there is a way to close the book that is not forgetting and is not pretending it never happened. The Stoics knew it and practiced it, and almost no one is ever taught it. We are handed only two endings for our guilt, and both of them are lies. This is about the third ending, the true one, and the man who finally found it. You know Cassius by now. He had kept a ledger of every failure, and he had served a sentence with no end for them. He had learned, at last, to set the pen down and to stop reaching for the lash. But a closed wound is not the same as a healed one. The book was still there. He still did not know how to be done with it. He could feel the two endings the world kept offering him, pulling in opposite directions. One said, burn it. Forget the whole thing. The other said, keep paying forever. And some part of him knew, without being able to say why, that both of them were a kind of lie. What Cassius wanted now was very specific and very hard. He wanted to be free of the weight, but not by lying about what he had done. He had wronged someone. Truly, he would not insult that truth by erasing it, and he would not insult his one remaining life by paying for it until he died. He wanted an honest freedom. He did not yet believe one existed. First, he tried the easy ending. He carried the ledger to the fire one night, meaning to burn it and be rid of it all. He stood there a long time, with the book in his hands, and the flames waiting, and he could not do it. Because to burn, it would be to say it never mattered. And it had mattered. Someone had been hurt. Forgetting would have been a second wrong laid over the first. He lowered the book from the fire. Forgetting, he saw, honors no one, not the person harmed, whose pain you tidy away, not yourself, who learns nothing if the lesson is burned. A wrong erased is a wrong that can quietly happen again, because nothing remains to remember it by. Denial wears the mask of peace, but it is only another way of not telling the truth. But the other ending was just as false, and he knew that now too. To keep paying forever was to pretend that the past could still be changed, if only he suffered enough, that the debt was live, that the account was open, that tomorrow's ache could reach back and mend yesterday. It could not. Endless payment was a lie about the future. The way burning was a lie about the past. He saw what the two false endings had in common. Both of them refused the only place a person actually lives. Forgetting fled into a cleaned-up past. Endless pain stayed chained to a guilty one. Neither of them would let him simply stand here in the present, holding the truth of what happened with open eyes and an open future. Both were ways of being anywhere but now, and slowly the third ending took shape in him, the one almost no one names, because it asks you two things at once that feel like opposites. You can be fully accountable for what you did, and you can release yourself from it. Not one or the other, both in the same breath. You can say, this was real, and it was mine, and I have learned it, and I am no longer under its sentence. This is the distinction the whole long road had been carrying him toward. A wrong can leave you owing a correction, a changed way of acting, a repair where repair is still possible, a lesson kept. What it does not leave you owing is a sentence, an endless punishment with no power to mend anything. The first is justice. The second is only suffering that has lost its way. Marcus Aurelius, who failed by his own standards daily and wrote about it without mercy and without despair, left the simplest instruction of all. When you find you have not acted as you should, he wrote, do not be disgusted or discouraged or give up. Simply return. Begin again. Be content if most of your acts are worthy of a human being, not perfect, worthy. Worthy, begun again. And Seneca, who counted time more carefully than any man, would have told him the cost of not doing this. While we are postponing, life speeds by. Every night Cassius spent serving an unpayable sentence was a night of the one life he actually had. Gone, unlived. Spent guarding a debt no one was collecting. The guilt had not only failed to mend the past, it had been quietly stealing the present. The cost of the third ending was a strange one, and Cassius felt it clearly. He had to let the failure become ordinary. For years, it had been the central fact of him, a sacred and terrible wound he tended in the dark, an identity almost. The man with the unpaid debt, to pardon it, was to let it shrink down to its true size, one true line among many, in a long and ongoing life. Not his meaning, just his history. So, Cassius did the thing he had never once believed he was allowed to do. He pardoned himself. Not the cheap pardon that says it did not matter. The real one, the costly one, that says it mattered. And I have carried it honestly, and I have learned what it had to teach me, and now I release us both, the man I was and the man I am, from a sentence that helps no one by continuing. He did not burn the book. He kept it, but he changed what it was. It was no longer a verdict, a standing sentence read out against him each night. It became a note, a single, honest line he would carry forward. The way a man keeps the memory of a burn so he does not touch the fire again. The same words on the page, an entirely different thing in his hands. The nights did not turn easy all at once. The old hour still came, when the book used to open itself and read his failures aloud. But now, when it came, he met it differently. He acknowledged the line that was true. He did not add interest. He did not pass sentence. He let the account stay closed and let himself, at last, sleep. He carried the lesson into his days, and it made him gentler with others and finally with himself. The wrong he had done lived on in him now, not as a wound he tended, but as a quiet care he extended, a reason to be kinder than he once was. That is what a failure is for, when you stop punishing it long enough to let it teach. So one ordinary morning, Cassius opened the ledger one last time. Not to read the old debts, and not to add to them. He simply looked at the one true line he had chosen to keep. The lesson and not the verdict. He let it be enough. And then, for the first time in his life, with nothing owed and nothing denied, he turned the page.